One of the easiest ways of encouraging smart learning is through introduction of innovative and creative teaching methodology. Now that way, both the teachers and the students leverage on advanced means of teaching and learning, thereby increasing efficiency and productivity. And that's the idea behind the modular interactive classrooms in Lagos State, Nigeria's commercial nerve center.
Viewing this containerized structure from the exterior will give you no inkling what awaits inside, but a closer look changes that impression. The one-story building is a modular interactive school built using standardized reusable freight compartments, known as containers, a deviation from the brick-and-mortar school buildings. Since the pandemic hit in 2020, a number of learning institutions transitioned online, leveraging educational technology to adapt to the new reality. But providing an environment that supports the technology is key, hence learning spaces like this. Interactivity is an important part of this setup, and low-cost and easy-to-use tablets are available to encourage the students access the notes the teacher is using. These students from Vetland Junior Grammar School in Lagos are the first set to experience this pioneer innovation in the state.
My feeling about this school is that it enhances the children's learning. If they don't know something, they can look it up in the Google, because we have our tabs with us, our teachers with the smart boards, the interactive boards. They can even give an example with looking it up in the Google with a picture. Like, this is so amazing. Even if the teacher is not even in the classroom, they can search, explore the world, like what they don't understand in the classrooms, they can look it up on the internet.
Digital literacy is mandatory for the teachers as well to enhance visual learning, and they make use of interactive touchscreens instead of boards. What both parties need is to have their tablets and internet connection, and learning can take place anywhere. Power supply, which is usually a major issue in the country, is addressed as the building has its own dedicated energy source that's off the grid.
We're sitting right here in a modular school. In here, 52 containers, a 12 classroom block. And why? Why modular? We needed an envelope to warehouse our technology. It's not as if we couldn't have sat in a brick and mortar building, that's fine. But the reality, the concept behind it, the mindset behind it was, what's new? What are we going to do differently? What's rugged enough that can take this African environment that we're in?
If the benefits from this scheme are to be spread and used widely, more of these sorts of facilities will definitely be needed. Expectations are high that this indeed will be the case.
We have Mr. Bolan Olayomi, who joins us in the studio to discuss further on that matter. He is the CEO and founder of WowBe Interactive. Well, thank you for joining us on Africa 54.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us about the idea behind this modular school initiative.
Thank you very much for that. This was a concept that we wanted to bring to life technology in learning spaces. We've been at this for about 7 years now. Overall, the whole group is 23 years old. So it's 23 years of research coming together, bringing young people across Nigeria from Port Harcourt to Lagos together to bring about how could we transform the learning spaces with technology. And our company being a pioneer organization, first to do this in Africa in terms of interactive touchscreens, and as a manufacturer of African origin, assembling this locally, we thought, how do we help our kids leapfrog from how dire our educational segment is? How do we give them this opportunity to be able to compete with the best in the world? So we found that our technology could make that happen. So what we did was to take technology, put it together with what we had done, our interactive touch panels, our tablet PCs, our servers, our software applications, create an outstanding learning environment. But beyond that, how do we envelope this technology to make it make sense to the common man? And that's where the modular concept came in, which is house our technology in modular sustainable structures. Given the advantage of speed in terms of building, we could roll out so many schools in 90 days from start to finish. Scale and access, making the kids talk the language they're used to, technology. And putting that together created this for us.
Now, given how much it takes to invest in this school, do you consider this project sustainable?
Absolutely. Very, very sustainable. In fact, it's the way to go. This is the way the first world countries have done it. You want to put a building. Remember during COVID, China could put up centers in 24 hours, 10 floors. It's all because the structures were modular. They couldn't wait for brick and mortar. So basically, that ability to assemble, disassemble. And the World Cup in Qatar has a stadium that's been built with containers, 521 containers. After the World Cup in November, that whole space is going to be dismantled and, put elsewhere. So sustainability, speed, all of that come together to make this happen. Give dilapidated schools all over the place, knock them down, build this up with tech already pre-built into it, and deliver the 21st century learning experience.
So what is the current thinking? Where is the new school going to come from now?
Hopefully, we trust that the next set of schools will be rolled out in the next few months across Lagos, and hoping that each district will have one, within the next 1 year. So this become the special schools, the flagship schools that each learning district in the city of Lagos would have. We're hoping to roll out over 100 of those across Africa in the next 1 year and begin to see how we can begin to transform the way Africa is learning and working.
So do you have states that are buying in?
Oh, yes. So we're talking to quite a number of states, and we're very close. It's a concept that's found favor up north, and that's very, very important for us, especially because there are disadvantages and there's a lot of catching up to do in certain parts of Nigeria. And this just allows us nationwide to compete globally, because it's not local anymore. Every child is competing at a global level. And we believe that what we're doing will make that happen for them all over the country.
So definitely you put a lot of time and energy into this. How long does it take to build one school?
Typically, we built this first one in about 12 months, but that was during COVID. Typically, we will deliver start to finish in exactly 120 days. The next batch, that's in exactly 4 months.
Sounds interesting. And there looks to be no stopping for you.
Absolutely no stopping. We're rolling out, the tanks are rolling out, and we're looking forward to seeing the next generation of our kids in Africa being globally competitive, being ready to be able to just roll out what they have inside them, just bring the best that they have. And that, for them, our kids they're digital natives. So you're basically making them learn in what they're already used to. We're also working very hard with partners to see how we can begin to do a lot more of that locally, once we can get those assembly lines done locally, we're going to see a massive drop in cost. But as of today, this is much cheaper than brick and mortar. You can take that to the bank.
Very interesting. Mr. Agbala Olayomi, thank you for coming on and all the best.
Thank you very much for having me.